everyone, this is AJ again, KD8LDE, and I'm bringing you a prequel here pretty much. This is the last part of the remote rig series. This is part 4, and I'm going to show you how to configure the radio side, which would be your remote side for the VoIP and the radio control basically. Yeah, I know I'm going a little bit backwards to go forwards. I know I should have started with this, but considering how my schedule has been, this has been like the first free moment I have had to come down to the office and actually show you what everything is here. And that is what I will do with the equipment that is sitting next to me. I know you may have seen it before, but I wanted to take a moment just to show you what you're going to see and what you're going to do. Of course, I have Kenwood. I have the TS480 if you had not remembered that, and I will show you what needs to be done beforehand. So I will go ahead and I will show you that right now. Alrighty, as you can see, this is the cabinet that holds my radio, and yeah, this is the one that has the two 20 amp power supplies connected up to it, and it is live. It is active, but this is how we mounted it and put it in here when we originally got it. The one thing I will not show you, which I'm sure is pretty self-evident to everyone, if you haven't seen an Ethernet cable or a connector or an AC power plug, that's what I already have plugged in here, and my stuff is hardwired in here already. The Ethernet line is. This other cable was basically for the access to Ham Radio Deluxe's serial cable. That's what this was for, which I configured, but we're not going to worry about that today. This is configuring the remote side so you can actually use the TS480 remotely at your site, or at your home, condo, apartment, wherever you are. The first important thing that I grabbed here was the one of the patch cables. This is one of the patch cables that I made up personally, and this is what is used to turn on the control head back at home. So where you're going to put this little beauty right here that I made up out of this Cat 5 cable is basically into the jack, into the RJ11 jack that says panel. So that is right here, and you're going to put it, well, if I can remember how to put this in right, just like that. Put it in right there. Then the other end goes in to where it says TTL, and that is the other RJ11 jack on the radio control box. It snaps in just like that. Now the other good thing about the remote rig, seeing it's being sold in pairs, is that you get this other RJ45 cable with not the ferrite on it, of course, but you get this, and this is what you use to have your mic connection from your house. So this is going from the radio through here, and you put this in the mic jack right here, and it goes right in here where it says aux mic on the radio remote rig box, which is right here, right next to the other plug. And that's it. You're pretty much done, except for some configuration options which you might want to look into, but this is what it should look like. I will show you next is the configuration of the radio box, so you know how to set that up. It has all the DDNS. If you're not using DDNS and you have a static public IP, you can definitely put it in that way. Otherwise, this is the side right here that stays static. It does not change at all. You do not use DHCP whatsoever. Make sure that you do have something static plugged in here, and everything should go all right. Okay, so next I'll show you the software configuration. Okay, if you followed me this far and you have your box configured, the hardware part anyhow, and have all the patch cables put in, you're ready to do this. I'm able to access this remote rig box that's connected to the radio because I have the Ethernet cable in here. So I have the IP address already plugged into my browser and ready to go. You can also use the USB that's on front of that box as well also to connect to it and configure it as well. But so when you plug it in, you should get the same screen that looked like that, but it should say radio up here. And this is where you go and you configure everything. So the first important thing that you want to look at is your IP settings. Here they are. You see, mine is set no. It is not to be DHCP. It's supposed to be set static. This is all the stuff for it to be static. And life is good. These are all private addresses. So you'll be able to get to your box via that public IP address that you so choose to use. The next is the radio settings. And of course, for the radio, make sure you have it on mode 5, which is the TS480, and that will be what you need to use for that. And make sure you have your SIP password put in here, and of course this one is mine. You can make it up whatever you want, doesn't matter. SIP password is a SIP password, as long as it's the same on the other side, back at your condo, apartment, home, wherever. And you know, just leave all these as defaulted. You might want to change that to 5700, considering it says it can do it, but if not, it's up to you. Whatever you choose to do. 56 or 5700 is 57,000, I should say, is what it is. It should work. The other thing that you did see was a serial cable that was attached, and under here, yeah, I have it set for mode 6. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Mode 4 for Kenwood, Yaesu, and Elcraft. 9600, typical settings for COM port, basically. And that's what it is when it's connected to my radio, the serial connection, basically. So here's the important part, which I'm going to show, is the dynamic DNS settings. This is what you use to connect over the internet. This is sort of your public IP, or your, in this case, public host name. Basically, you're using DNS, or dynamic DNS, I should say, to give the radio a name of, I would say you're choosing, but in this case, Remote Rig, it's going to use something unique from their site to configure the dynamic DNS, and then you use a password to, you know, access it on the other side, basically. So it'll associate with whatever IP address or public IP address that you have from your internet service provider, basically. So it looks like this. So this is basically what it is. You go over here and you select host name, or the host DDNS, remoterig.com. It'll give you this. It's just a host name that's arbitrarily made up when you input that. Basically, the username right here, based on your what type of box you have and the serial number, and an arbitrary password. Basically, it's just given at random here. And all you have to do is just hit submit. Settings will be saved. You go back to the one at home and you enter all that in, basically the host name, and you're golden. This is what you will use to the dynamic DNS, the address that you get, the host name, I should say, the host name that you get is what you will plug into the control side back at your house. If not, I mean, there's other options you can put here. You can put in something from another service, this dyndns.org. Fortunately, they will charge you now. There are no more free accounts with that company at all. So when you go there, you may have to put down, I think it might be $25 for the year. If you're okay with the yearly cost of having the host name that of your choosing from that service, that's up to you, of course. But once you do that and you submit your settings and it resets and it comes back, you're good to go. You've basically configured the box, the radio box, on the remote site. that's all there is to it. Nothing more, nothing less. I know I said I had mine plugged into an Ethernet cable. Yeah, you can do that. This one also has Wi-Fi settings, but there is no Wi-Fi module that I plugged into there. So pretty much this is it. If anything, hopefully that helped you with the configuration of your box, of the remote side of your radio. And of course, this has been for Kenwood only. And hopefully that they will come out with the other users for Elcraft and Yaesu and so on. Or wait, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about something else. I'm so sorry. You can use that, and that's a whole different configuration, is what I should have said. So hopefully that helped you. And if there is any questions, you know where to leave them down below in the comments. Make sure you thumbs up, like this video, favorite it. If there is any questions, you know, I can answer them the best I can from the experience that I've had with this setup and with this product, basically. So until then, ham radio, happy DXing, whatever it is that you may do with your amateur radio hobby, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, and bye.